Actually, Tanya made me feel really good about my day. I had a gorgeous day so far, and listening to her, I was thinking, wow, I have nothing to complain about. It's been good. You're welcome. I'm not trying to rub it in, but how do I make this work? This? All right. So as Ferhan said, I teach at the University of Toronto. That one? All right. So those who just arrived don't know what this is, ask someone who knows. And I also consult in business. And one of the questions I always get is, how do I become more innovative? How do I make a change in my organization? I'm tasked to be innovative, so how do I introduce innovation? First answer, stop talking about it. Second thing, that's what I thought I would start with, is just 4 very simple things. Be insightful. Know your market. Take some risks. Not so difficult. Break those rules. People give you rules. They tell you do this, don't do that. It's somebody else's rule, not yours. Go break them. Nothing happens. The worst that can happen is you get a slap on your face. So what? And be positive. Just don't look at those people who tell you that you cannot do it. Yes, you can. At least you try. So what I'm going to do in the next 10 minutes or so until Ben cuts me off is try to give you a few examples of how we actually put this into life. Some of them are my personal experience. Some of them are things that I observed around me. But hopefully it's going to give you an idea. So 1, the insight thing, like knowing your market, knowing your customer. I work with quite a few people who are trying to start their businesses. My life so far has been in corporations. So I come from the other side Tanya was talking about, that corporate side. Shameless, profit-driven. We want to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, when you want to know about your customers, what do? We go research. We go read papers. We think. Not the place. That's not how you get insight. Or we go to our lab. I'm working with a guy now who's trying to start his business. Actually, he's my brother-in-law. He just finished his PhD here. He spent his life in a lab. He's very comfortable here. When he's trying to start his business, he's not doing too well. What I'm telling him, kick him in the backside, is get out of your lab. Talk to the people that you want to cater to. If you want to learn about wildlife, if you want to learn about how lions behave, you don't go to the zoo. If you go to a zoo, this is what you see. Miserable, depressed animals just sitting lazily in their cages. If you go to their natural habitat, you see something very different. I'll tell you about this shiny instrument. It's called Selkie. This is an instrument which I brought to market. It's in life sciences. And when I was first involved in this instrument, it was a $20 million disaster for a Canadian company. I was brought in. It was a lab experiment out of San Francisco. The company had invested about $20 million up to that point. It didn't go anywhere. And they said, go to San Francisco, figure this out. We want to make a product out of this. We already spent $20 million, so it needs to be good. Doesn't make sense, but that's what they said. So I said, OK, well, let's go to San Francisco. I met the startup company that came up with the technology. It was nice. What did I know about cell biology? It works in cell biology. I knew nothing. I'm an aerospace engineer. So the first thing I did is talk to a few cell biologists. They told me a few things, but they work for that company. That's the problem. They're already working with this technology in these tiny little wells that they put the cells in, and they believed in it. Fine, good. And they told me all these stories about how a cell biologist works in their daily life. I said, can I watch you? And they put a show on for me. That's not what I wanted. I don't want to see lions in a cage. I just want to see them in their natural habitat. So the first thing, or the next thing I did was this roadshow. We talked to a few customers. We said, how you do your cell biology today. Now, this actually does a very small fragment of pharmaceutical research, which before we introduced this machine, it took about 6 months to do that particular research. This instrument does it in 2 weeks altogether. But we wanted to know what happens during those 6 months. So we did this 1-week roadshow. Well, not even a roadshow. We were basically flies in the wall. We went to their labs, looked at what they did. That 1 week changed how we spend the next $25 billion developing this, and the consumables, and the next platforms that are not here. What you're looking at here is an early prototype. It kind of looks like this today, but it's selling. It sells for about $750,000 each, and there's a whole service built around it. What made us successful in that engagement was going and watching people who actually do their jobs and how they do it. So get that insight. Not that difficult. You just need to be shameless. You just need to go out and ask. Somebody will let you in. All those people who don't let you in, don't deal with them. But Tanya was saying, choose your partners carefully. If they don't want to play with you, go somewhere else. Let's move into this risk thing, because everybody's risk averse. We all are risk averse. I am risk averse. I'm not saying, when I say take risk, I'm not saying go jump off the cliff or anything like that. Be careful about the risk you take. But push the envelope a little bit. So Branson says every risk is worth taking as long as it's for a good cause and contributes to good life. What is your cause? Find out. You guys are young. You don't know what you're going to be doing next. I'm old. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. Life changes. And if you're not open-minded, you're going to be stuck. But find what drives you. Not everything works for everybody. Some people are driven by money. Some people are driven by the help they can deliver to other people. Find what works for you. How many people have heard of this $300 house project? 1 person, 2 people, that's it? Wow, okay. This actually started as a blog post by 2 people. One is known as VJ, I cannot pronounce the last name, and Christian Sarkar. And they came up with this napkin drawing. This is literally on a napkin. This is what they came up with. And what they want to do is introduce a $300 house, a house that takes $300 to build. And they are targeting the 2 billion people in the world who cannot afford accommodations. Now this is a good cause that people lined up behind. All they did is throw this idea, throw this napkin out there. Since then, literally thousands of people jumped up and they said, I want to work on this. That's a lot of risk, that's a lot of time. A lot of people will fail, they won't get there. A lot of people will try and find something that doesn't necessarily work. Some people's ideas won't really make it there. But people want to try this because it's a good cause that they believe in. Huge global event that started just because of these 2 people that throw out this idea. Something much more local. How many guys have been to Snakes and Lattes? Well, much more here, yeah. How many people actually admire their business model? A few of you, great. I love these guys. I don't know the owners, but the fact that they took a coffee shop, restaurant, cafe concept, connected it to board games, and create this amazing, fun environment where they can do real business. If you look at it, it's hard to get in, it's a long lineup, and they sell stuff. A lot of people cannot do this. Even Starbucks, humongous success. They try to push their products by allowing you to hang around there. It's like these guys really broke the code. Like they found something that brings fun things together. They set new rules. They didn't go, oh, here's your business plan and how much money you're going to invest into this. They didn't listen to that kind of stuff. They actually did an amazing thing. How many people know this guy? Good. I didn't expect anyone to know him. He's my squash buddy. His name is Colin Ferguson. I beat him. But also, he's the owner of a game company called Snakehead Games. He built this company over the last 10 years. We used to play squash, and when we were sweaty and disgusting after the game, we would sit down and talk about his business and his company. He had no money, no investment, working with his brother out of his garage. For years and years, what he believed in is when he builds this company, he needs to give control over to his people, the people who play his games, the people who pay him. He believed that the games shouldn't be defined by the game maker. It should be defined by the people who actually play it. Very risky. He was basically giving away all the control he had in his company to these people who come in and hopefully pay him to do something that they defined themselves. He spent all his time not fundraising, not trying to sell his business to anybody or sell his product to anybody, on the community that he created on his game. He would go in and listen, let other people take control of his game, and he would open the code so that they can change it, so that they can play the way they want to play, and he would learn from this. It took him years just doing this. The last time I visited him in Hamilton, he moved to Hamilton now, so we don't play squash anymore. But now he has a company, he hired people, now he's talking more businessy. He's talking about building an architecture for a platform that other people can build on. He has a group of people working for him, so he has moved to the next stage. But he did this by believing in his customers and spending all his time trying to understand his customers. How much of a risk is that? Dedicating years of your life, not knowing what's going to happen next. Last thing, think positively. Colin, to me, is one of those examples of people who think positively. I've met a lot of people who tell you very good reasons why you cannot do something. It's fine. They won't even try what you're trying to do. This kid, I don't think he's going to move that rock, but at least he tried. So probably he'll find a way to move that rock if he's really dedicated to it. Someone who never tried is guaranteed not to be able to move that rock. As you move on into your careers, you're going to take different directions. Oops, shouldn't be slapping this thing. So I love Henry Ford. He built a good company. I don't like his cars, but he built a good company. But he said one thing, and I truly, deeply believe in this. He said, whether you think that you can or you think that you cannot, you're right. So you can go in a way where you say and you think about all those reasons why something cannot be done. And probably you'll be right. But also you can go try this audacious, outrageous thing, and you may be right when you do it. And if you cannot do it, still you tried it. You will learn something from it. Good luck.